Welcome back to another episode of Drink Tales. And it's that time again. It's the middle of the month, so that means we're doing our tasting notes section. And we're gearing it towards November this time, giving it a bit of a Thanksgiving flair. Got some new stuff on the board, got some classics on the board, and we're going to talk about, what you would probably drink with this and maybe additional stuff that we didn't put on the board that you might want to add to it. So, this go around, we're a bit cluttered. We got a lot going on. Almost like we need a bigger board.
So what's the theme for this one? I don't know if that's an obvious.
Thanksgiving, so to speak.
Okay.
Or at least that time of year of November. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could say like a harvest, so to speak.
Okay.
But I'm also going for a lot of light but warmness. We're still doing a bit of the harvest like from last month.
Mm-hmm.
And in this instance, a lot of this is a little bit of this board is stuffed like you would stuff a turkey,
Or you would stuff your face during the holiday.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, here's what we got going on. So for a board like this, like I said, I would suggest going with a bigger board so you can add more stuff to it. I'm even going to suggest some stuff to add to it that's not on the board. But first up on the board, we're going to go from my right to my left. From you guys, it would be, I guess, your left to your right. And we're starting off with smoked Gouda. That's back on the table. I used a bit of a guide on the internet, and one of the guides that I used suggested having 2 hard cheeses. So I went with smoked Gouda as one of them. And for the second one, new to the table, Parmesan. I bet you guys thought Parmesan was just that cheese you sprinkled over spaghetti. But no.
In that bottle, which that's not really Parmesan. If you want real Parmesan, get like the brick. If
you want real Parmesan, get this and grate it. And grate it over your spaghetti.
Or whatever food that, uses Parmesan.
Next up, you guys probably can see that we have dried apricots on the board. Pretty good. Also, fresh apricot slices would have also been great as well. But we went with dried, even though dried was the preferred. They always say a mixture of fresh fruit and dried fruit, things like that. I went with dried apricots, but also fresh is preferred as well. We got pecans. Now, we've used these pecans before. They're bourbon flavored pecans. One of the reasons why I use pecans is because pecans are kind of synonymous with November, with pecan pie and stuff like that. But also too, I thought it was a better trade out for mixed nuts. But I would also suggest mixed nuts. There's actually a recipe online for spice mixed nuts that you can make on your own that I would have really liked to do, but it would have taken too long before this video. And also I don't have a crock pot. But I thought these were a worthy substitute because they invoke Thanksgiving. And I added bourbon flavor for that kick because it's Thanksgiving, but you're probably also doing a little boozing on Thanksgiving as well.
I know I am.
We got more meat on the table coming back for a return. Always use it because it's always faithful. We got prosciutto.
Okay.
Prosciutto is always a standby meat, so to speak. Next, we also have salami, hard salami. I would also suggest going for, I mean, I use the hard salami in slices. I would also suggest getting the salami like on the log and cutting.
That was a Goa salami.
Yeah, Goa. Yeah, Genoa salami. I'm sorry, but I would also suggest getting the salami like on the log and cutting it. That's also good as well. We also have corn churro. I'm sorry. Let me see what it is. Cornichons. I'm sorry. I call them gherkins.
It's a weird name.
It's a weird name for a small pickle. We've had gherkins on here before, but now we have cornichons. To me, they taste and look the same, but they're delicious and they work. Olives are back as well. I know I've skipped all away over them, but olives are back as well. You always want to have. I say this every video, every month, but you always want to have some pickled stuff on the table. Blackberries. We've used blackberries before. In fact, we used them last month. I brought them back again because I still wanted to bring out that winter or fall, that hint of fall, that look, so to speak. And I have crackers as well. These are a wheat entertainment cracker. Got them at Kroger in a box in a variety pack. But these are the wheat entertainment ones, and they're pretty good. And up here with them, I have fig preserves. And those fig preserves are pretty good. I've been wanting to put like preserves and jellies and stuff on here for a while now. This was the perfect opportunity. Also, another suggestion, cut up fresh figs as well. And you don't have to eat them in tandem with the preserves, but they can also be on there, especially if you're going for a wider table. Other suggestions I will also make for a wider table: blue cheese. I would also do chopped apples, grapes as well. Also, there was one more thing. No, that's it. Oh, I would also decorate it with kale. Take some kale, sprinkle it around, and decorate it. And you can also eat the kale, of course. It's kale. It's delicious. It's good for you. But yeah, decorate it with kale. All those I got from the internet. I got all those tips from the internet, from various articles and such.
The internet does have very useful things on there.
Right. With that said and done, what would you suggest drinking?
So I'm gonna put this out here. A lot of these ingredients that you have on here vary with drink suggestions. So, for example, you have your nut. Depending on what type of nut you choose, outside of these pralines or those are pralines, those are pecans, right? Or whatever. It's the same thing. Outside of this, you may get something like an almond or mixed nuts or spiced mixed nuts or whatever. You may want to have something like a whiskey or a dark rum on hand for those that lean towards that type of snack, which is usually the men. The men in the crowd, they're gonna want to get them some nuts and have a sip of whiskey with it. If you want an in general suggestion, because most likely this would be a Thanksgiving thing or a party around the holidays, around that type of holiday, then I would go with champagne or a sparkling wine. This is just a bottle that we have offhand. You can get your favorite sparkling wine, something that you think would go well with some of the ingredients, which honestly you can't really go wrong with. Champagne, sparkling wine, all of that, kind of covers the basis for everything. You have a alcoholic beverage that's light, and will allow you to keep snacking as you drink throughout the night. Whereas with the whiskey, you know, a specific type of, if you're, in other words, like for the hard liquor, you're gonna want to pair that with the ingredients that are on here that go with that, like the pecans or the mixed nuts. I see you have your olives down there. Maybe someone's making martinis, so vodka and gin may be on the menu for that night. You know, when you're drinking for the holidays and at these parties, you're not going to usually see anything like a margarita or anything like that.
Right.
Like you're going to see wines and maybe fall and winter sangrias. You're gonna see the dark liquor, the dark liquor, your light liquors. It is not gonna usually be mixed with anything sweet. So like martinis, Manhattans, old fashions, all of those are on the table when it comes to pairing this up with this board. As for the type of wines, I'm not really much of an expert on that. I would just say go with whatever type of wine fits best within that season. Because most likely it's going to fit best with the ingredients on your board. But if you just want an overall suggestion, go with your champagne and sparkling wine. It's a celebration.
Okay. All right. So that'll do it for this episode of Drink Tales. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell so that you're notified of all content that comes to the channel. Also check us out on Instagram and check us out on Twitter. And until next time, everybody, peace.